نرحب بسعادة الأستاذ مناف المنيفي رئيس التخطيط الاستراتيجي والمتابعة في بنك برقان، فليتفضل لإلقاء الكلمة.
شكرا أخوي أحمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
حياك الله.
In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. The future is not what it used to be. These are the first sentiments that cross my mind when I wake up every morning. Our efforts to a path of meeting market demands and customer expectations, fearing that most of our efforts may be fragile in achieving their ultimate goal of being innovators in an ever-changing industry and customer behavior. I am still on a journey of discovery that started over 20 years ago in banking industry, mostly in corporate finance, SME banking, and investments. You would expect that the heavily regulated banking industry to be rigid, heavy, and slow to change. Not being able to adapt in these times will make any bank cease to exist within the next 5 years. Therefore, the only way forward for banks is to adapt and become agile through the accommodation for the shift in banking from the old, thick building structures toward a service provider that customers can carry in their pockets whilst maintaining the same trust and security of the traditional impenetrable vaults that we have seen all in the movies. In every business, including innovative ones, we sometimes become encumbered with heavy operations that we lose sight of what we are trying to simply do. That is, solve our target's customer's problem. And even after allocating proper investments in capital and resources, to answer this question, it is most likely that we will find that the might of our organization may solve the customer problem, but dare I challenge the fact of creating true value for the customer. Is the organization's independent solution enough to ensure stickiness of customers, or are we able to create a network multiplier effect in which customers become promoters of our business? Simply due to the awareness that the environment is a complex one and the new standards of customer expectations have risen drastically in the last 5 years. So what shall we do? How can we adapt to the changing environment? Not every organization needs to change its model, but every organization needs to adopt the ability to think like a platform. A platform is a business model, creating an ecosystem that promotes shared value in place of transactional relationships. With the main difference from a pure reseller model, where the organization becomes the actual link between seller and buyer of the transaction, the platform model acts as a mediator with affiliations with sellers and buyers for a direct transaction between both parties. I think that adapting our thought process was best summarized by a quote by Martin Schafez, co-head of securities in Goldman Sachs. Quote, "Imagine if Google were a closed proprietary. You would call your Google sales representative to do a search. They would come back with results, and then you would call them back to refine or redo the research. This is how our business was done. We would go back and forth with our clients on the phone until they were satisfied with the product we developed for them. Why not give them direct access to our platform and our tools?" End quote. What I like about this example is not that the outcome, but more of how the organization came to the realization of what they need to be doing for their customers and to their brand. This only can happen with the adaptation of thinking like a platform and expanding on how to solve customer needs prior to allowing for competition to sneak in and grab market share. So how do we build a strategy that is relevant in a sea of technological advancements and innovation? Let's simplify our business. Every firm is surrounded by main pillars: suppliers, customers, competitors, and complementers. Who are our complementers? How can we tap into creating a shared value in our ecosystem? What is our unique value proposition? These are the questions that successful strategies should answer. Otherwise, we fall into the trap of creating traditional strategies. And we know statistically that 67% of all strategies that are traditional fail. I'm sure that you have been seeing and hearing of banks partnering up with fintechs in an attempt to create mutual values for solutions that benefit customers. My expectation is that this relationship will only be enhanced as banks come to the realization that in order to compete in providing service to customers, they need to partner with players in the arena. Hence, I would recommend all solution providers with tangible ideas to reach out and open discussions with banks, since they have become more reachable in the last 3 years. with the industry self-realizing that we need to be closer to our complementers in a way to provide visibility to a more predictable future. A useful tip for entrepreneurs is to reach out to digital transformation department heads or chief strategy officers over LinkedIn from the banks that they'd like to deal with. I end with a big thank you to Her Excellency Dr. Hanadi, the organizers, the attendees for participating in a much needed discussion forum of great minds to learn how to shape our future in a better way to serve humanity. And I thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.